all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI news video. Now we've got a lot to cover today, so let's jump right into it. And let's start off with some Transformer news. So first of all, we got official images for that MP 'Skids figure from Dakar Tommy. I've talked about this figure before, but now we have the official details for him. And, you can see here with these new images and everything, he really doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories. He comes with his twin blaster and then a second pistol. So that's really it. There's no accessories from like the cartoons or anything, which, kind of makes sense, and Skids really didn't have a huge presence in the cartoons. So I guess, they really didn't have much to draw on for extra accessories with this one. Now, besides Skids, there's also the Diaclone Red version, which is, I guess, officially named Reboost, which has, again, it's red instead of blue, and he does have a different head sculpt that looks more like Optimus Prime. I'm not familiar with this version. I don't remember a red version of Skids. And again, I guess this was something only released overseas. But both of these figures should be going up for pre-order, and Salome is joining us, everybody. But both of these figures should be going up for pre-order at midnight tonight at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store, and then they'll be out. They should start shipping out in November. Now this weekend, we got some images, our first look at what appears to be a new Transformers Studio Series Dinobot Slag. So we had seen listings for this figure show up recently on the Walmart website. And these images come via somebody on the 4chan message board, somebody named Autobot Burnout. And so I assume these are legit. They look pretty legit. And you can see this is going to be a leader class figure. And while it has not yet been officially announced by Hasbro, again, it does look like Slag is definitely coming. And I got to be honest, I had passed on the Grimlock that they did with the Wheelie figure here recently because I have the MP Grimlock and I'm pretty happy with that one. But, Slag here looks pretty good, and if they're going to end up doing all the Dinobots in this series, then I probably will end up going and getting Grimlock and get these. Maybe I'll wait and see if a third one gets announced or such, but if they do all the Dinobots, and I don't know why they wouldn't, I think I'll definitely end up picking these up for myself. Okay, now for a story I meant to talk about in the last news video, but forgot with all the stuff going on with Hasbro FanFest. It didn't make it into the cut last time. But I want to go on and share these new updated images that were released by Mattel last week. They did a special virtual panel celebrating WrestleMania 37, which was this weekend. They showed off a bunch of new wrestling figures, but here primarily I'm going to be focusing on the new Masters of the WWE. This is Series 7, which has not yet gone up for pre-order, but should be going up soon. But definitely, I feel like this is maybe one of the most solid assortments in this line to date, mainly because it's filled with all classic characters, which I tend to like more than the more modern ones. But with this wave, we are going to be getting a new Bret Hart figure, which is going to have multiple visors. We are going to be getting Sergeant Slaughter, which is pretty cool. It's kind of weird seeing Sergeant Slaughter in a Masters of the Universe theme line when, I think most of us think of Slaughter, if not in wrestling, then we think of him with G.I. Joe. But he is making his debut in this line with Masters of the WWE. And then also Junkyard Dog is getting a figure for this line, which is cool. And then the final figure is our first oversized figure for this line, which is Andre the Giant. So he is going to be a bigger figure than the others. And it'll be interesting to see if they use this mold in the actual Masters of the Universe Origins line. My guess is they will, but we'll have to wait and see. But as I said, all four of these figures, which will be Walmart exclusives, just like all the figures in this line, should be going up for pre-order in the next month or so, and will be out later this year. Now, one other quick note on the wrestling front. Again, they showed off a bunch of figures last week, and I'm not going to go over all of them here. I will put a link to our story on TNI if you want to go over and look at all the reveals and everything that were made last week for WWE, for Mattel's WWE line. But one other thing besides the Masters of the WWE figures I wanted to share with you guys today is they did announce that they are going to be bringing back their WWE Retro line. So these are the figures based on like the old time 80s figures. I think it was from LJN, minimal articulation, everything. They'd done these previously, but then discontinued the line. But they said they heard your guys' requests and that they are bringing the line back. So they showed these digital renderings for Roddy Piper and Mean Gene, the announcer. They said more details on this line will be coming sometime around July timeframe, probably when the virtual San Diego Comic-Con event takes place. Another thing I forgot to talk about in the last news video is on the Hasbro front, but this wasn't anything that was shown off at the Fan Fest. This was put out in a press release by Hasbro the day before, and it is for their Ghostbusters line. They are doing, if there was a video for the new Afterlife movie was released by Sony last week, showing these guys off. They're called Mini-Puft Surprise. So little versions of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So to me, they remind me of like Minions. So Hasbro is doing blind bag versions of these guys. So those are going to be coming out later this year. They're going to retail for about $5.39 each. For you Lego fans, we got an announcement this weekend that Lego is going to be releasing a round of new Looney Tunes based minifigures. So you can see here all the classic Tasmanian Devil, the Coyote, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Sylvester the Cat, Roadrunner, the Martian. So, you know, all your favorites, Porky Pig and such. But of course, the one missing is Pepe Le Pew. I don't know if we'll see, you know, based on, and I'm not going to go into details, but he's come under fire. And, you know, his scene in the new Space Jam movie was cut and everything. So I don't know if we'll be seeing any new Pepe Le Pew products anytime soon from Warner Brothers. But we are getting the vast majority of the Looney Tune characters as Lego minifigures coming out later this year. For you Masters of the Universe fans, we've gotten our first look at the Deluxe Hordak Buzzsaw figure. So this one had been up for pre-order for a while at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store, but images had not been made available. This is based on the original toy where he shoots saw blades out of his chest. You get 2 different head sculpts with the figure as well. So again, this figure is available for pre-order now. There are not any loose images at this time, just the package image. But this figure should be out probably within the next month or so. Super 7 has released new images and information for another round of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger reaction figures, the 3 3/4 inch figures with the basic articulation. So with this round, we are going to be getting a Red Ranger, and these come on pretty, you know, retro-like card backs with pretty nice artwork on them. We're going to be getting a Putty Patroller figure. Pudgy Pig is probably the most unique looking figure in this wave. Rita Repulsa, a Green Ranger, and a Megazord. So these are available for pre-order now at places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store. And while we're on the subject of Power Rangers, for you Hasbro fans, you might want to mark your calendars for April 27th. I believe we might be getting a couple of reveals on that day. Okay, so now let's jump over to Marvel Legends. So first of all, let's start off with new package images that were released this weekend for the Haslab Sentinel. So I showed you some images. They had showed the packaging off during Friday's live stream, but now we've got the official press images for the packaging. And the Haslab Sentinel, of course, for those who backed it, will be getting it later this fall. And you can see the packaging is quite large here and definitely has some pretty nice artwork on it. Now, besides the official images, Ryan Ting from the Hasbro brand team put out these images on his Instagram page, again showing off the packaging. You can see here that's the Marvel Universe, the older Marvel Universe Sentinel figure, and you can see how much bigger the packaging is for the new figure. And then also he put out the packaging with one of the retro figures, the Cyclops figure. So, and then here's a picture from Thursday's event where Dwight was showing off the Sentinel and the articulation. So just one more image to check out there. Definitely, this is looking pretty nice. And as I mentioned in the last news video, of course, Hasbro during the live stream hinted that they will be doing another Haslab project for Marvel this year, and hinted that it was going to be something Fantastic Four themed, with the most likely obvious choice being a new Galactus figure. But we'll have to wait and see if that's actually what it is. But again, if I was a betting man, that's what I would say. It's going to be a new Galactus figure. Now, one other thing I forgot to talk about in the last news video is on Friday's live stream for the Marvel Legends brand, with the Marvel Legends brand team, they also showed off a new wave of retro figures, the 3 3/4 inch retro figures, which should start shipping everywhere very soon. Right now they're available at Target. But they showed off Wave 3, which is going to include a new Gray Hulk figure, Invisible Woman, Ant-Man, Cyclops, and this is the same Cyclops figure that they had released as one of the Hasbro Pulse exclusives when they first announced this line, but now they're doing it on the single card. And then finally, for this wave is Vision. Not necessarily toy news, but this image popped up online, which shows a portrait featuring promotional artwork for the upcoming Disney Plus What If animated series. Now, I'm pretty sure this is legit. It looks very much in keeping with what we've seen in the trailer. So I don't know exactly who took this picture or where this portrait was actually found. But again, it looks like it's some type of promotional artwork for the upcoming series, which is set to debut sometime this summer on Disney+. Now, where I'm going to bring this back around to action figures is I've previously talked about how the second wave of Marvel Legends themed Disney Plus figures would primarily be focusing on the What If animated series. Now, that news actually originated from the folks over at Fwoosh, but I have no reason to doubt them, so I believe that is going to be the case. So essentially, 6 of the 7 regular figures in the second wave of Disney Plus Marvel Legend figures will be based on this animated series. The 7th figure is said to be based on something from the Loki series. So we got 1 Loki figure in the first wave and 1 Loki figure in the second wave. And then we don't know what the Build-A-Figure for this wave is going to be, so I can't say if that's going to actually be based on the What If series or something else. But again, just guessing, I would say probably the What If series. And, going back to this promotional artwork, we can see that the Watcher is featured on there, which, he observes all the events happening in the land of What If. Definitely to me, it seems like would be a perfect candidate for a Build-A-Figure. So, that's just pure speculation, but seems like out of everything we've seen from the Disney Plus show so far, that would see, we got the Falcon's wings in the first wave as a Build-A-Thing. And so I feel like Watcher would be a very good choice for the Build-A-Figure, an actual Build-A-Figure for the second wave. Now, we can also see in the artwork, we've got the Peggy Carter as Captain UK or Captain Britain. I don't know what they're going to be calling her, but, wearing that Britain outfit with the shield, where apparently she got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers during World War II. And we can see Star-Lord, Black Panther, T'Challa. Apparently, when Yondu comes to Earth, we saw in the trailer, they take Black Panther instead of Peter Quill, who then becomes Star-Lord, and I'm assuming will end up leading the Guardians of the Galaxy. We can see also in this image the Killmonger character, which I wouldn't be surprised if, because T'Challa is taken off into space, he actually becomes the Black Panther. But here he's just wearing essentially what he wore in the Black Panther movie. So I don't know. I don't think they would make a figure of that. I do think they would make the Star-Lord figure, but not him. Now, if he does actually become Black Panther, then we could maybe see a figure of him in the wave. The other characters here, the Gamora, the Thor, I could see them doing, this pretty much looks like how Thor did in the first Thor movie. So I could maybe see them giving us an updated Thor movie figure in this wave. So that's a possibility. And, Doctor Strange, I don't know, since he doesn't really look any different. The one over on the far left corner with the long red hair, I'm guessing is maybe Black Widow. It looks kind of like Black Widow's outfit, but she does look a little buff for Black Widow. So I don't know if she has her sticks too, so electro sticks. So I'm pretty sure it's Black Widow, but I don't know if that's artwork that's making her look buff, or maybe she ends up getting dosed with the super soldier serum as well. So we'll have to see. And then, we've seen from the trailer and stuff, another one that I think is a likely candidate for this wave would be that zombie Captain America. I could definitely see that coming. Now, one other figure, which is going to be offered as a deluxe mega figure, which means it's going to have a $50 price tag like that MODOK, is also said to be based on the What If series, and that most likely would end up being the Steve Rogers and the Iron Man Mark I, which is not featured in the new promotional art that we're seeing, but was featured in the trailer. And I've also seen indications that there'll be a Lego set for that Iron Man Mark I with Steve Rogers coming as well. Now, speaking of Disney Plus, I was expecting that, through Marvel.com, we were going to get a new Disney Plus reveal from the first wave of figures. And I was assuming it was going to be Winter Soldier, since the other two figures, other two Falcon and Winter Soldier figures, are two spoilers to be revealed at this point. But that did not happen. I don't know why. It's possible maybe that the Winter Soldier is coming, and then there's going to be a version of John Walker, and there's going to be a version of Falcon. And again, the Falcon and the John Walker figures are likely, right now couldn't be shown because they have spoilers for the show. We've seen leaked images for them come out, so we know what they are. I'm not going to really go into details since it is spoilerish, and I have talked about those before. But just know, if you're not up on it, they do contain spoilers. So it's possible that those two figures actually couldn't be revealed until after the very final episode. So, it's possible they decided to hold off on showing off anything this week, being we just got all the Marvel Legend reveals this past Friday, and are going to wait and show off like Winter Soldier next week, and then the final two figures from the show the following week after that, after the final episode airs. And then, of course, there's the Loki figure, which I assume would just be revealed. The wave is due out before the Loki series even premieres. So I'm guessing the Loki figure, as I've said before, isn't something that's going to be too spoilerish that they can go on and just show off before they start taking pre-orders for the wave. But I'm guessing they'll wait until after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series ends before they show the Loki figure. Okay, and then finally for today, I've got some new official images for figures from the Shang-Chi wave. These are not official images, I should say in-hand images. So these two figures, the actual Shang-Chi movie figure itself, as well as the Tony Stark AI figure, which is a repaint of the Alex Ross Iron Man with more comic book-like colors and has the holographic head. So both of those figures have been found at Target this weekend, specifically a Target in Indiana. And a big thanks to Troy Brownfield for sending me these in-hand images. He found the figures and we're able to buy them, and then he took pictures for us. So the thing about these is these figures apparently shipped to this particular Target in solid case waves, meaning that these were the only two figures in the Shang-Chi wave that this particular Target got. That's a little bit strange. I've heard some people telling me the Venom Pool wave also shipped like that. But generally, when a big box store orders figures, they order the full assortment. Retailers can order solid cases, but in general, it's only the small retailers that do that. So I don't know why this Target was only ordering the two cases. Now, I've been doing some checking because it's been unclear exactly when this line is supposed to be released. Originally, it had been listed with an April release date, at least the most recent release date, because the movie has changed its own release dates multiple times due to COVID. It was originally going to open back in February, and then it got pushed, I believe, into July, and then finally the final release date has been listed as September. So I guess it was May, and then September is when the movie was going to be released. But as it is, it looks like the figures are going to be coming out much sooner than the actual movie, because as I'm told, the hard embargo date for this wave is supposed to be April 24th. Now, obviously, this particular Target didn't get that memo and started selling them. And according to Troy, there was no kind of embargo date listed. There was no kind of cashier lock or anything on the figures. So I don't know. But I would expect to start seeing this entire wave, seeing a pretty full release or going up for pre-order or what have you, starting later this month on April 25th. Now, just to recap, this is a wave that includes Shang-Chi, which again, we're getting the good looks at here, along with the Iron Man figure. The other comic book based figure, regular figure in this wave, is the Civil Warrior, which Hasbro had officially announced, even though they didn't tell us that Shang-Chi was in the wave. The Build-A-Figure is also comic book based. When the first images for this wave leaked out last week, as I told you guys, we discovered that the Build-A-Figure was going to be a comic book based Mr. Hyde, which we actually have a little bit better look at here with the back of the packaging. The other figures are movie based, so Death Dealer, Wen Wu, and Exhaling, or however you pronounce that one, I'm not sure. Those are all movie based figures. So We don't have, good in-hand images for any of the other figures in this wave yet, nor, I have seen some indications of other people finding the entire wave someplace. Some images had started to pop up earlier in the weekend, but it didn't look like those were being found at Target, and I don't know where those were being found. But again, this wave, even though the movie's not due out until September now, looks like we'll start seeing a release at the end of this month. All right, well, that's it for today. I would love to hear your thoughts on everything I talked about. Let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. Stay safe out there, guys, and until next time, me and Salome say, we'll catch you later.
Watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.